Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the new Reuniclus with Charm. This is of course the Community Day move that the Community Day is currently going on. You can get right now. It is a move that definitely helps this Pokemon out a tiny bit. Is it going to make this Pokemon worth it? Not really. My main idea behind this team is to try to counter Dark-type Pokemon. As you can see in the first battle already as well, we were able to bait out that Moltres. We're going to have super effective fast move coverage now with Reuniclus. Of course, our charge moves don't really help us too much, but also, even though of course we are super effective fast move pressure against them, they have the same against us, which means we are actually not in a great position. We were losing that lead matchup, like that secondary matchup here basically, even though we have kind of the position where Charm made the most amount of sense. And yeah, we are now going to be in a position as well where the opponent has their Dragon type against us, where Charm also would help out. And they can go for the Glaciate. We're going to have the Moonblast. We have generally a very bulky team outside of Reuniclus, because Reuniclus is not a bulky Pokemon whatsoever. And so basically my idea behind this team was, hey, I need a Pokemon that's part Psychic in the back that doesn't want to face really against other Dark-type Pokemon, because I want to bait the Dark-type Pokemon out with my Sasop. And then I need bulky Pokemon because I want to use all my shields on Reuniclus. Turns out Reuniclus isn't even that great with shields either. So yeah, as you might expect already from the video today, this Community Day is based on PvP and basically everything else, a bit of a joke. It's not really doing anything for it, and it's kind of frustrating because I feel like Reuniclus has a very cool charge moveset. You have Psyshock, you have Shadow Ball, you have Thunder. It's actually really good charge moves. The fast move of Charm is going to help you in terms of speeding to that Psyshock, because you only need 5 Charms to get there, but generally speaking, it's not going to get you anywhere. I don't actually know what you really would have wanted here. You would have mostly wanted a fast move that's kind of a Shadow Claw clone in order to make the Pokemon good, because then you would have the 5 turns in order to get to your Psyshock, and he's still going to be able to generate energy quite fast. You would need a completely new fast move basically. And yeah, Reuniclus, I don't think actually would have an option for a good potential fast move currently, unless you add just a complete new move into the game. And I highly doubt that they're gonna make, of course, they didn't do it here now, that's mostly a worry. But anyway, let's take a look at the second battle. We still got some wins with this Pokemon, which is, I mean, maybe surprising. I don't know. But it was definitely not because of that Pokemon. But here we're going to have the matchup against the Bellybolt. We're going to take some alright damage. They are actually doing so much more fast move pressure than I want them to. But we're going to still be able to go for a Psyshock, I think, on the CMP type, which means we are going to be able to get some damage onto them. The damage output is alright, especially with the defense boost already onto the opponent. But as we will see here as well, yeah, Bellybolt's still going to be able to easily win this matchup, and we are not in a position where we can really knock them out either. But what we see as well is that they decide to go into their Zygarde. Zygarde is going to still be weak against our Moonblast. I want to try out Cresselia with Confusion anyway, because this is a Pokemon that got buffed quite significantly this season as well. So I kind of want to at least try to see if this is going to work out a little bit better, and it definitely does. But by the way, Reuniclus also would have learned Confusion, a move that would have got buffed this season as well, just like Cresselia, that would have helped this Pokemon out most likely a little bit more than Charm. It just learns Confusion by level up, I'm just checking right now on the side, so I'm not too sure why we never got this one. So yeah, this is kind of a bit ridiculous. There are a lot of cool coverage moves this Pokemon could have learned as well. Grass Knot is one of them, for example, to have a bit of the similar coverage that you have already on the Cresselia. You have Shadow Ball, of course, which already learns. You would have needed most an extra fast move in order to really get something like Psychic type fast move that really would help him, because there's nothing else really. But for example, it would be the potential moves of Expanding Force or Psychic Noise, which this Pokemon could learn, which just needed to be translated into a move. But the way it is currently is just not going to help it. It would even have the option for Astonish as a potential fast move, which already would be better than Charm as well, but it doesn't learn that move either. So, like, honestly, I don't really know what they try to do with it. Like, I don't know if there's something that you know or whatever, why this is the case, why this Pokemon got this move, because as you're gonna see, you know, cool, it does more damage against that Regidrago. Still, the pacing is horrendous of this Pokemon. Like, you're not gonna get to the moves fast at all. Where, for example, Astonish as a fast move would have helped you with. You would have been able to get to your Psyshock after just 4 fast moves instead of 5. And with that change to the fast move here, you're still not going to be able to do anything really against those Pokemon. And so here, Regidrago is a big issue for this team then, because of how this kind of went out here. And as you see as well, it's still going to get some damage up against our other Pokemon. We try to farm down, but they're going to catch the move here onto their Empoleon. And we have to still kind of try to deal with this Pokemon now with, okay, here they decide to let this move go. They want to reveal that they have another Dragon-type Pokemon on the back, so they had like Empoleon Double Dragon, which is a common theme that you would see quite often, which makes a lot of sense as well. But as we will see here, Goodra is going to be able to go for the Aqua Tail. One is not enough, but another one will be. And with that, we are just not going to be in a good spot. The opponent is going to be able to go for an Aqua Tail again, get the KO here. And we try to go for the Moonblast, see if the opponent decides to let this move go. And with that, I would have been able to win this, but they decided, of course, to use a shield. And we have no chance here anymore. They just need 2 charge moves in order to knock us out, and there's not a lot that we can do about it. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, actually most likely the weakest community day we ever had. I don't think there is a community day that was ever weaker than this one. I actually don't remember. Is there anyone that you can remember currently that is even worse than this one? I have no idea. Like, yes, you're going to have the Stardust bonus, which is cool for this community day. I like this always a lot, but I'm not going to play because I don't really like the Pokemon itself here either. And yeah, that's basically it for this community day. I think the Shiny was already released previously as well for this one. Like, if I remember, like, bad community days, like, we had, like, something slacking, but this was, like, at least a Pokemon with high CP that was kind of new as a Shiny, for example. We had the Beedrill, which was an interesting Pokemon as well. At least at some time it was solid in PvP, and it had a Mega Evolution, so, like, it made more sense in terms this kind of way. I guess we had Blissey and Chansey, which was also a little bit of an awkward community day, where at least Blissey is a great gym defender, but, like, you're not going to ever use Reuniclus. Like, it has no play in any kind of way, and the potential option here to make this Pokemon alright, at least, with a Community Day move, they kind of threw away as well. And this is kind of the one thing that I don't really like about Community Days. I feel like, over the time, Community Days kind of lost the importance of it, which, like, kind of, every single Community Day, we got, like, a completely new move being added to the game. We had, like, Media Mesh on Metagross, we had like a Blast Burn, we had all, of course, those kind of moves. We had so many signature moves in the beginning that got added to the game that were never added before, and this all kind of went away, and now it's just we pick a random Pokemon that gets a random move that doesn't really help it anymore, and we call it a day. And I just don't really like this, because it's not needed. It's not necessary. There are so many Pokemon currently still out there that would have options for signature moves, that would have options for new moves that could be added for them to be very solid. I don't think there is at all a reason right now to go around and do what we have here, like choose a Pokemon that is not interesting for anything, give it a bad move, and call it a day. I don't know. I feel like this kind of kills a little bit the game, like the excitement for it. Like, this is more like a TED talk now about community days, but I feel like there weren't really that many great community days recently, or if we even had community days that could have been great, they kind of got like not the best treatment towards it. And so I don't know. I feel like I hope, especially as now Scopely took over from Niantic. Niantic is not in charge anymore, like it's officially announced as well and whatever. Basically, I hope that we're gonna get a change towards community days again as well. Like, this one was most likely planned before. Like, they are planning those things quite far ahead. And so I'm hopeful for the future. At this point, Scopely already implemented a lot of very positive changes to Pokemon Go, especially towards PvP, which I'm super happy about. So shout out to you all. Like, this is totally great. But I feel like community days are things where you have to change quite a lot. And I think there are a lot of things in the game we should be kind of looking at and be like, maybe we should change this in order to make it more interesting again for people. So, as you're going to see here, we are going to be able to go ahead and get some damage up against that Bellybolt. Bellybolt's in here against us. It's going to be alright for us. We were able to farm down the Primeape. The Zapkin is going to knock us, but I'm not really too worried about it, because you're going to have here our, Steelix, and at this point I know as well, we are going to have quite some solid play with our, say like our other Pokemon here, with our Steelix still. Not really with the Solosis, or like the Reuniclus is still going to be able to pressure the opponent. We're actually going to be able to win this battle. We can move on to the next one. Apparently, by the way, if the community didn't start for you and you're interested in this, you get, apparently, with the current event bonus, a lot of XP as well, to the point where, like, an excellent throw I've seen just here on the X now, on Twitter, that you get 8,680 XP here for a lucky excellent throw during the Solosis Community Day. So maybe this is something for the people who are not yet at the level. That would be something that might be interesting for you. Let me know down below what you think about it. And generally on how your general I know feeling is towards community days because I feel like they haven't really been the same. Like they were such exciting events. Like I remember still going out for most of like the early ones, like the Tyranitas. And I know we don't have like that many Pokemon that are similar to this, but we have a lot of potential Pokemon that have a lot of options for yeah, that they have a lot of options for like potential moveset that would really change those, like for PvP and for PvE. And that's kind of the sad thing that I feel like about this is just you have a lot of opportunities for it. And yeah, if you wonder why I don't really commentate the battles, like cool, you have a Steelix and you have a Casaria. Those are not the most exciting Pokemon ever to showcase. I'm fully aware of this. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah man, that's the craziest team ever. But I kind of need to have something around the Slowses or like the Reuniclus here in order to have a chance of winning anything. Because guess what? This Pokemon is bad. I do think it might have a little bit more play, by the way, in the Great League, which you might be take a look at as well. I have a really good Shadow Slowses, or like Reuniclus for Great League and for the Ultra League. I do, by the way, think this Pokemon is not going to be good in the future either. I don't think that they're going to add anything anytime soon because they would need to add a full new move in order to make this Pokemon solid, and I don't think that they're going to do that. So, yeah, as you will see here, we are going to have the Skeledirge here now against us. We would have access to the move Shadow Ball, but because we have a lot of energy here, I actually decided to use a shield, and I'm going to try to go ahead and get up to 2 Psy Shocks basically, and then try to go for them maybe even back to back. Maybe I go for an extra fast move. I see what the opponent's gonna do here because I'm not too sure if they know on like my move counts basically. I'm not too sure if they know about that. And so that's why I decided to go ahead and go for the shield here. But yeah, we can go for 1 Psy Shock. It's not going to be enough to knock them out either. They decided to go ahead and shield this move up anyway. And I try to go for the Crunch here, but the opponent is countering me here with a Water-type Pokemon, which generally is not a bad matchup for us. But of course, we want to have the Crunch off against the Skeledirge because our team otherwise struggles quite a bit against Skeledirge. And so, yeah, this is kind of where we are at here right now. The opponent is going to be able to go ahead and go for another charge move, gonna get us really, really low. And with that, we're very likely not going to be able to reach another Crunch against the Skeledirge, right? Actually, Steelix is quite bulky. And with that, we are going to be able to survive a fast move, but they're gonna go for another charge move. And with that, we have basically no kind of place here anymore to be, because what I have to do is I have to try to wait out the clock and try to catch the move on Reuniclus. Did not work out, as you see there as well. The opponent is boosted, I think, at this point as well, and we just don't have a chance here. The Shadow Ball is doing so much damage. They're going to have the Feraligatr in the back, and while we do super effective charge move damage, it's just not going to work out. And so, yeah, it is what it is. There is not really a lot that we can do here. And we can move on now soon to the next one, as it's going to be now the final battle. So, like, if we want to take a look at, like, the recent communities as well, like, there is not a lot of Pokemon that were really, really that solid. Yeah, generally, for PvP, there were not a lot of Pokemon that really changed anything. I think the most impactful change was actually the community day around Annihilate. This one was a really, really good one. But, yeah, we had quite a lot of community days already that have been not really that great. But yeah, back in the day, they had, like, a lot more new moves getting added. Like, we had Drain Punch, for example, on Beware. Drain Punch never been used afterwards. Never been changed, never been done anything with it, which I find kind of frustrating for that one as well. I think Acrobatics was a new move as well, generally for Jumpluff, which wasn't really there before. We had the Icicle Spear, which was a new move that added for Thrill. Basically, everyone kind of added a new move, or like a move that only recently got buffed or something like this. So even here, I look a little bit at the side around like some of the other community days that we had before. There were so many exciting ones, and like we just don't really have the kind of same kind of way anymore. And I do get that there are not that many Pokemon left anymore that had no community day yet, but I feel like there are still quite a few that would have the option to be a bit better if you would just look a little bit more into the moveset. Like, I already Scolipede would be one of, for example, like this Pokemon would be an interesting one because it has like a good moveset already, but it has like a potential kind of signature move that would be really cool for it. And there are lots more of that. Like, you have the Sandile, which I feel like would have been a cool candidate for something. We had the Click in that generation as well, which would be a cool Pokemon for community days. There are at least, I think I could more say, count like 20-30 Pokemon that would have the signature move or like some kind of special move that they could learn that would make them really, really cool for a community day. But this one isn't it. And so, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Like, sorry, not commentating really the battles today fully here because the Pokemon itself is not really worth getting. It is not. I don't think it's going to be better. Just use this community day in order to get Stardust and XP. That's the best thing that you can do for it. And that's going to be it now kind of for this video as well. I got a few wins with it. I think I got 3 wins total in 13 battles with this one, which is of course underwhelming. And that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.